Shit up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. Might not have been seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help. It's time to switch it up, put the hip shit on the shelf. Cause the way the real wealth is being real with self. Might not have been seen the glory of the coming of the left. I can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for help.
Money, money, money. That's all you got to say.
Wrong there, wealthy. Like Kanye West says, having money is not everything, not having it is. No, Deuteronomy 8:18 says God gives us the ability to create wealth. No, it's the love of money that's going on. You don't like money so much, why you get up and go to work? Yeah, everybody doing it about money. I'm just trying to leave a legacy for money. It's not everything, but when you got it, you can do some cool stuff. And now, your host for Talking Money in the Morning, financial health mentor to the working class, Mr.
Good morning, and welcome to Talking Money in the Morning Live with your main man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community, where it is my honor, privilege, and I count it a blessing to come to you this morning and each and every morning live from the Young Biz Kids studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, if you're in the St. Louis, Missouri area, I want you to go to Young Biz Kids fan page and learn about the Young Biz Kids marketplace going down this Saturday. Come out and support our babies in their pursuit of their entrepreneurial journey. Got kids from all over the city selling all sorts of products. Some products they created. Some kids have learned how to do market research and they learn how to go buy products wholesale and then become distributors and retailers. You gotta come out and support our babies. So I will put the time and address in the description once the show wraps up. Or you can go to youngbizkids.org. That's the website, and that's kids with a Z, KIDZ.org, or go over to their fan page, Young Biz Kids, and learn more about what's going on with this incredible organization and what they're doing to and for our babies, man, to help our babies grow to the next level, man. And it's not our intention to make every kid an entrepreneur, but every kid should know that entrepreneurship is an option. I'm gonna say that again. It's not our intention to make every kid an entrepreneur, but every kid should know that entrepreneurship is an option. That's what we're trying to do. Our kids need to know that they can be producers. Our kids need to know that they can be owners too. Our kids need to know that they can do amazing things other than play sports and entertain. And that's what Young Biz Kids is about. We're taking a lot of those kids who have no interest in sports, dance, arts, music, and we're finding out that the reason they have no interest in that stuff is because they're entrepreneurs. Right? They're trying to figure out how to own the dance studio. They're trying to figure out how to own the TV network. They're trying to figure out how to own the sports team. They have no interest in playing sports, but they know sports is big business. So how can I position myself to own a sports team? These kids are amazing, man. And I say all the time, and I don't ever want you guys to forget this, the worst thing you can do for a child is set expectations too low. So don't tell your child they're too young to start a business. Don't tell them they're too young to write a book. I'm preparing a show within the next couple of weeks that will feature authors all under the age of 15 years old. Some of them Amazon bestsellers. So you're not going to tell me that kids are too young to do anything. My little buddy Mikey started his business when he was 8 years old. He started his vending machine business when he was 8 years old. And now he has 5 vending machines under his management, and he's a best-selling author telling his story of how he became an entrepreneur. So don't tell me our babies are too young. We have to set aside some of the things that we're doing as parents and make time to pour into our babies, right? So If you're watching this on Periscope, then do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel or subscribe to the feed. Share the feed with your followers. Same thing with you guys on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel so you can get notifications when we upload other information, other shows. And go ahead and make sure that you share the show. Same thing with you guys on Facebook. You're already sharing. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and sharing the shows and all that good stuff. And the hearts, the thumbs up, and the likes, that lets Facebook know we have a valuable show. So when we go live, they will push the notifications out to more and more people. So your comments, your likes, and your shares all mean something in the world of Facebook, and they definitely mean something to me as well. I love to know that you guys are engaging with the content. Today we're talking about the excuse that people are making for not being successful, man. In America, you can literally turn crap into money. I don't know if people get that about the great land that we are in. You can literally turn crap, poop, into money. So we're going to talk about some of those things, man, and I just want to pour into you. But before we do it, let me tell you exactly who the show is for. This show is for risers and grinders, man. If you're not about getting up, getting out, and getting something, this is not your show. But if you are, this is your show, right? This show is for those who literally are trying to build a legacy for their families. If you are not about building a legacy for your family, this ain't your show. This show is for those who want to help to rebuild their communities and play an instrumental part in that. If that's not you, this ain't your show, man. You can exit stage left, and I won't miss you one bit, right? If you've never seen a future billionaire before, I want you to take a screenshot and watch us work. I want you to literally pay attention to the people who are on this stream on a regular basis. I want you to pay attention to me and the people that I mentioned, the people that I'm following, and watch what we do on a grand scale. So, a couple quick announcements, guys. If you missed the opportunity to join the class on video marketing, you missed that opportunity for $25. Never fear. You can still click on the link in the description, and it is $47 now for you to get registered for that class. I'm going to teach you everything that I know about video marketing. How to leverage video, how I use videos to create business systems to generate leads that turn into sales, how I use video to brand myself, to get people to know, like, and trust me. All of that for $47. In addition to that, you're going to get my course on how to win with Facebook ads, which is a $200 course that you actually get for free when you register for that class for just $47. So click on the link to get yourself registered. It will be at $47 for another day or so, and then it goes up to $97 for the weekend. So jump on the early bird specials, man. Don't delay. If you are in business and not using video in business, you're missing out on tons of leads. And if you're not generating tons of leads, then you probably don't have any sales flowing through your business regularly and consistently. I will show you how video can help you do that. Also, the Black Wealth Movement added 4 more families in the last couple of days. If you want to join the Black Wealth Movement and help your family build generational wealth, then comment Black Wealth Movement, and I will put somebody in touch with you that will pay it forward for you to join the movement. So what are we talking about today? In America, you can literally turn crap into money. So tell me again your excuse for being broke. In America, you can literally turn crap, manure, poop, waste into money. So there's no reason that you're broke, right? There's no reason, there's no valid excuse for being broke and you live in America and you have been in America for any length of time. That's why people come to this country, y'all. People are coming to this country because they know inside 90 days, inside 6 months, inside a year, inside of 2 years, their entire world can change. Because in this country, you can turn waste into money. Literally, right? I was just looking up some stats, and that's why we got the show started a little bit late, because I was fascinated at some stats. The compost industry is projected to be worth about $152 billion by 2020. In the next 3 years, $152 billion. Out of that, there is the industry that turns manure into fertilizer is worth about 25 billion. So tell me again, your reason for being broke. In this country, you can turn crap into money. $25 billion every year. People go scoop up cow dung, horse dung, pig dung, and they convert that into fertilizer to the tune of $25 billion every year. We got people talking about they can't find work. We got people talking about they can't grow wealth. See, there's no reason to not be wealthy here in America. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Robert said all reasons for being broke in America are full of crap. Right? That's the reason that you're broke. If you're in America and you can't at least figure out how to turn crap into money, then you're full of crap. That's the reason you're broke. Just help the client convert $50 into 248 hours. The only reason you're broke is because you want to be. The only reason you're broke is because you want to be. I want to give you another one, man, because I want you to understand something. We're talking about turning waste into money, because I don't want you to have any excuses. And I'm going to get out my financial calculator here in a second. The scrap metal industry is worth about $36 billion. About $36 billion. And that's just the little aluminum cans, the little metal containers and stuff that you can go find. A lot more breaks down. You can go scrap it and get you a few dollars. The scrap metal industry is worth $36 billion. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because we got to hustle, y'all. We got to hustle. And I'm seeing too many people letting their hustle die. And it's funny because I was almost that guy. You know, I've been grinding in my own business, working and hustling on the side for years, and just couldn't get any real traction, right? Couldn't get any real traction. And as I was starting to have thoughts of just throwing in the towel, I started getting promotions on my job, got a couple of raises on the job, got a new title on the job. And see, I believe that was a test for me. I believe that was a test for me, because when you start to doubt yourself, give up, and start to think little of yourself, and start to think what you're doing is taking you in the wrong direction, whatever you think about, whatever you focus on, that's what you will get. I was starting to think about and starting to focus on the fact that my business wasn't cutting it. So I was putting an energy out into the universe that says, because your business isn't cutting it, then maybe you need to focus more on your job. And that energy that I was putting out while I was in that state of conflict caused doors to start opening on my job. And I believe that was a test to see if I was going to throw in the entrepreneurial tile. You see, sometimes when you are attacked the most by the circumstances of life, some people say it's the devil. I'm going to say it's the circumstances of life. You're attacked the most when you're right on the edge, right on the cusp, right on the border of a breakthrough. And that's what happened for me, y'all. I was right on the cusp, right on the edge, right on the border of a breakthrough in my business. And that's why life attacked me the most, so much so that I was almost throwing in the towel and just saying, hey, I'm just going to focus wholeheartedly on this job, turn this into a career, and just do this for the next 30 years till I'm 70 years old, and maybe I'll have something. That was the gamble I was willing to take, because I had literally gotten myself into a position where I was doubting myself. I was doubting my ability to make it on my own as an entrepreneur. So I got a raise on my job, got a promotion on my job, got recruited from one department to another department, and I started to go down the road of entertaining whether or not entrepreneurship was for me. I want you to know something right now. If you are being attacked right now, and wow, Janice said her job ends tomorrow. She has no choice but to hustle up, right? If you're being attacked right now and things in your life are chaotic, chances are you're right on the other side of a breakthrough. So this is where you need to push even further, right? It's that meme that circulates on Facebook that shows two guys digging. One guy is within an inch of breaking ground to receive the reward of the payout of diamonds or whatever's on the other side. Another guy is just getting started and he's blasting away like crazy. The guy is within an inch of getting the success, has turned around and quit and given up. Has quit, turned around, and giving up. Evan says the breakthrough is in the mind. Yep. And that's what happened to me. I said, wait a cotton picking minute. I can't fall for this illusion of inclusion. Right? When you on your job and you start talking about my job as if you own it, you falling for the illusion of inclusion. Right? It's funny how poor and middle class people take ownership in the one thing that they never will own. They take more pride and ownership in the one thing that they never will own, and that's their job. My job. This is my job. This is my deal. It's an illusion of inclusion. They make you feel like you're included and you're part of the company, and that illusion makes you feel like you're part owner, as if you have equity. You talk about my job. My department did this for my company. I led my department to executing this for my company to have this success. And that's the way we talk. That's an illusion, because your company will turn around and take your job and give it to somebody else in a heartbeat. So we got to be careful about that. But I want to give you some stats real quick, because especially when you think about scrap metal, I'm gonna go to my financial calculator here in a second, because the average American is throwing away probably $50 to $100 worth of scrap metal that they could be transforming into money. The average American is throwing away $50 to $100 per month in scrap metal that they could be turning into money. So what does $50 to $100 per month look like if that was going into an investment? If you were smart enough to just say, hey, I love my job, I'm not going to leave my job, but at least I'm going to hustle and look at all the little things that I have access to that are valuable. I'm drinking 3 cases of Pepsis a week. I'm drinking 3 cases of Pepsis or Sprite a week. I'm drinking a 12-pack of beer a week. I'm going to show you, if you just took those cans, that little bit of scrap metal, and you turned it into a scrap metal buyer, and that $50 to $100 per month that you're throwing away, if we took $50 per month and that was invested at an 8% rate of return, and we did that over 20 years, you're throwing away $30,000. You're throwing away $30,000 in scrap metal, right? What if you took, and you're on the higher end where it's $100 per month, the same rate of return over 20 years, and you're throwing away $58,900, right? You're throwing away $58,900. The average American is throwing away $50 to $100 per month just in scrap metal, right? When I'm talking about crap can become money, I want you to really understand that. As somebody who is a hobby gardener, right? And I look for things organically that I can grow and help my plants grow and things of that nature. And a couple years back, I got turned on to some more crap that can turn into money, right? How many of you guys know what worm castings are? Anybody ever heard the term worm castings? I might buy a 20 or 30 pound bag of worm castings for about 20 or 30 bucks. I can't remember the last time I bought it, what I paid for it. Worm castings is worm poop. Worm poop is probably some of the most nutritious fertilizer in the world for plants, right? And what I want you to see here, and the reason I'm bringing this up, I know some of you guys don't go out and you're not thinking about it, but what I want you to see is that there are so many ways that we can create income and revenue for our families if we would but realize there is no box. So everybody type in the chat, there is no box, man. So many of us have been boxed in our thinking that we really, truly, honestly, deep down believe that the only place we can get an income from is a job. So I'm a do-it-yourselfer to the fullest extreme. So when I started to buy worm castings, I said, wait a minute, this is worm poop. So I then went to the store, to Walmart, and I bought me some red wigglers, right? Some red wigglers, because these are the worms that multiply the fastest, I believe. So I bought me some red wigglers. I got 2 totes from the store as well, Dollar General or something like that, and I created something called a worm farm. So again, I'm talking about ways that you can turn crap into money. So I bought these totes, and I put a little soil in it, put some newspaper in it, some things of that nature, and I bought me some worms, spent $3 or $4 on some red wiggler worms. I put those red wiggler worms inside this tote. And I'm going to show you how you can simply turn crap into money. You guys know that I get the Vitamix cracking, right? Before the Vitamix was cracking, the Jack LaLanne juicer was cracking. So I don't know if you guys ever juice, right? But if you're juicing, then naturally you're separating the pulp from the juice and the pulp from the fruit. So I took the pulp and the scraps from the juicing, and I fed that to the worms. I kid you not. Inside about 6 months, I might have had about 30 pounds of worms. From a small container of worms that I spent $3 on, it might have been 15 or 20 worms in there. Inside of 6 months, I juiced every day. So I would take the scraps from the juicer and I would throw them into the worm bin. So again, I'm taking trash, I'm taking crap, and I'm turning it into money. Now, of course, when the worms eat, the worms poop. That created rich fertilizer for me to use in my garden that I can then turn around, bottle, and sell. Did you guys hear me say I spent about $3 for a container of worms? Did you hear me say that I went from a $3 container of worms to about 30 pounds of worms in 6 months? If I wanted to, I can then start selling those worms about 15 at a time for $3 or $4. Fishermen go to the tackle store and buy worms all day, every day, and twice on Saturday mornings. So I was able to turn scraps from my juicer into an income because I know there is no box. There is no box. When you have collected enough worm poop, you can then scoop some of it up, get some distilled water, run the distilled water over the worm poop and create something called worm tea that you can also bottle and sell. Put it in a dark bottle. Going to get you some red wigglers. Listen, I'm telling you guys, and these are things that you can do and just over time that will just create wealth for you. Just create wealth for you, right? In my neighborhood, we have guys who have their pickup trucks, have their trailers on the back, and late at night, they do their scrap runs. What is a scrap run? A scrap run is when you drive your neighborhood and everybody knows that these guys do scrap runs. So I've got a gas range downstairs, right? It's still in working order, so I'm going to sell it. But I got a gas range downstairs that if it wasn't in working condition, I can set this gas range out on the curb of my property, and then by morning that thing is gone. Why? Because these hustlers know that, hey, all I need to do is collect a half a ton of scrap metal on my scrap run at night. I go turn it in the morning, and that could be anywhere from $200 to $500 every single day. And people are putting out precious metal every day, and these guys do their scrap run. Some of them have gotten so serious with their business, now they're saying, hey, damn a scrap run. They're putting out their flyers and say, hey, you got scrap, just call me, I'll come pick it up. You don't even have to set it to the curb. I'll come in your house and get it. So people understand that when you know that you can, in America, you can turn trash into money. What's your excuse again for being broke? What's your excuse again for being broke? If they did that and say they made $200 per day, 5 days a week. Let's say that they take weekends off, but they made $200 per day, 5 days a week, right? It's $1,000 a week, $4,000 per month. Okay, so they got to eat, they got to live. So say this isn't a side hustle for them, this is all they do. Say this is all they do. So if they're making $4,000 a month, then they got to pay mortgage. They got to do, take care. They got to live, right? Just say out of that $4,000 a month, which is more than a lot of people are making, especially those who are barely at the poverty level. Just say say out of that $4,000 a month, they're going to put aside $500 to invest at 8% rate of return. In 20 years, they done scrapped their way to $294,000. So if you can turn scraps into money, what's your excuse for being broke again? Now, imagine if that was the side hustle. This person has a regular job and they do a scrap run twice a week, make a couple $100 a day, and that couple $100, so maybe that's $400 per week, that's $1,600 per month. I want you to see something here, man, because there are some little things that we could do that we refuse to do because it's beneath us. But if you can get you a pickup truck and go on a scrap run that will make you an extra $1,600 a month outside of your job is taking care of your bills, your side hustle is going to take care of your investments. And you put that $1,600 per month into an investment at 8% rate of return, in 20 years, you done scrapped your way to $950,000. $942,432.66 to be exact. But you know what our problem is, y'all? Our side hustle brings in our money so we can buy junk with it. We got the side hustles going on, but our side hustles aren't for our future. Our side hustles is so we can buy some extra junk. That's the problem, y'all. If you could use a side hustle to bring in an extra couple $100, and you put that extra couple $100 right into an investment account, at $942,000, let's see, 10% of 942 is 94,000. So 8% of that 942, Robert, hold me accountable. What is the 8% of that 942? Because 8% of that 942 might be 70-something thousand. It might be 70-something thousand. So that means in 20 years of just your side hustle, you put together an investment portfolio that will pay you $70,000, $80,000 per year. And you never have to touch the principal. See, we side hustling for the wrong reasons, y'all. See, I'm gonna go buy me a pickup truck and I'm gonna start doing me some scrap runs. I know a young lady right now who has a shopping cart. She doesn't even have a truck. She has a shopping cart and she collects enough cans every morning that I know brings her anywhere from $300 to $400 per week. And all she does is walk our subdivision with her buggy, with her shopping cart. And she just collects the cans on the side of the road because people are crazy. They just throw their trash right on the side of the road. And she just go and get those cans and she throws them into her thing. She ain't diving into no dumpsters looking for no cans. She just up and down one main strip of road and she collects enough cans every doggone week. A couple $100. And she may do this for 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. All right, she may do this for 2 hours a day. No, Robert, get me if you can No, 8% of 942,000. 8% of 942,000, Robert, is what I was trying to get. Because that's you could set yourself up in 20 years to have that kind of payout coming from your retirement. Now, and if you have the type of job who in 20 years you're investing in a 401k, now you got twice that coming in. Now you got twice that coming in. This is why we can't retire, folks. This is why we can't retire, right? This is why we can't retire. This is why we can't retire. $75,360 will be your annual payout if you have an investment account growing at that rate. So that's the kind of money that would generate for you. Because I want people to know that there's a reason that you should be grinding to put money away for your long-term future. That means that $942,000 will just living off the interest that generates is more than most people are making on a job right now. So this is how your retirement years are supposed to set up. That could be separate from your company's 401k plan. Your company's 401k plan, maybe you got that to $500,000-$600,000, and that's going to kick you out another $30,000 a year. Maybe if you're part of the Black Wealth Movement, you have a business enterprise that's kicking another couple thousand in residual income, right? This is what we're talking about. I think Robert gave us the percentage of the whole total. This is what we're talking about when we're talking about building wealth. So now that you know this, now that you know this, will you work a little bit harder on a side hustle to create an extra couple $100 a month, extra couple $100 a week to put into an investment account that will grow for you like this? Right? And I'm gonna do you one better, because we talk a lot about building generational wealth. So 942,000, let me go to my other calculator. We're at 942,000, right? So say for instance, you work that side hustle and you built that thing up to 942,000 in 20 years. I'm 42 years old, be 43 next Sunday, right? So I'll be 43 next Sunday. In 20 years, I will be 63. So if I did this side hustle, build up a $942,000 nest egg, and I said, I'm 63 at 42, or I mean, I'm 63 in 20 years, but I'm gonna put that 942, it's still earning 8% rate of return, but I'm gonna pass that down to not my children. Why? Because that's not biblical. I'm not passing that money to my children. That's not biblical. The word says you leave an inheritance to your children's children. And you know, and here's my interpretation, and I haven't been to seminary or anything like that, so I might be way off base on this. But I believe you don't give it to your children because your children are in the grind with you. I don't have to give my children anything because they see how I grind, so they're going to grind like me and they're going to build their own nest egg. But I'm going to give it to their children. So at 63, if the idea is to leave it to my children's children, that means at 63, my children's children may be in their 20s. And I leave them a an inheritance that they can't touch until they're 40. So this 942,000 is going to grow at an 8% rate of return for another 20 years. So when they finally are able to get their hands on it, it's going to be $4,641,000. You guys see how generational wealth is built? It's built by one generation doing some things that aren't popular, doing some things that aren't easy, doing some things that might get them laughed at and scoffed at in the marketplace, in their communities, in their families. One generation doing some things that they don't want to do, but are necessary to be done to set the rest of the family up forever. Forever. Is anybody on the line willing to do some things today that are unpopular? Willing to do some things that are uncommon? Willing to sacrifice some time, energy, effort? Maybe you forego a vacation here and there so you can take that money and put it into an investment account. Maybe you forego some time and you just grind it out really hard for 3, 4, 5, 6 years to generate some income on the side that you can throw into an investment account so that you can set your children's children up to be incredibly wealthy. And guys, when I tell you that 8% rate of return is conservative, I can show you right now in Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, Fidelity, that it's not a stretch to get a 12% rate of return on that amount of money. And if we did that at 12% for 20 years, that's a $10 million inheritance that I leave to my children, to my children's children rather. And here's how this compounds. Here's how this compounds, and this is how wealth is really built. Because I leave a $10 million inheritance to my children's children, my grandchildren, my children who grinded with me, and they grew their wealth to 942,000. Now they're leaving an inheritance to their grandchildren of 10 million plus. Now the collective net worth of the family is about 40 million. Because it's not just the cash reserves, it's everything that they own. And you're not going to tell me that you build this type of wealth without teaching your children how to own land, how to own businesses, how to own precious metals, other assets, how to own collectibles, how to diversify. Problem with us, especially us as Black people, is nobody's willing to hustle hard enough and long enough to take our families to another level. Guys, my family look at me like I'm crazy. My family look at me like I'm crazy. My homeboys all laugh at me because I'm doing this little internet thing. My homeboys look at me side eyes because I had the audacity to write a book. Who the heck do you think you are, man? What makes you an author? What makes you qualified to write a book? Hell, I do. My belief in me, that's who. So when we're living in a country that you can do that with scraps, imagine what you can do with valuable stuff, right? That's what you can do with scraps. That's what you can do with scraps. So imagine what you can do if you put forth some effort to build something of some real, true, and lasting value. Don't let nobody box you in. Don't let nobody make you feel guilty for your hustle, right? Don't let nobody make you feel silly because what you're doing is out of the ordinary. I'll tell y'all something, man. Being wealthy ain't ordinary. See, we're so busy trying to fit in. We're so busy. I tell my kids when I coach and I mentor the youth, I tell them all the time, man, you will never be outstanding unless you're first willing to stand out. And I don't know, I didn't make that up, so don't give me the credit. I don't know where it came from, but it's so powerful. You will never be outstanding unless you first are willing to stand out. Anybody watching this right now, if you're willing to stand out for the sake of your family, like my man Matthew Sam. Matthew Sam was willing to stand out, and now he's doing some outstanding things. Type in the chat outstanding if you're making a commitment today to stand out for your family so that your family can be outstanding. Type out outstanding right now. If you are declaring with me, I'm willing to stand out. I'm willing to stick out like a sore thumb. Mainstream is going this way, I'm going this way. All of my homeboys are doing this, I'm doing that. Society says that this is normal, I'm doing what's abnormal. People, when guys, I used to see those guys riding through my neighborhood, trucks piled up. They've got radiators, they've got furnaces, they've got car doors, they've got bags and bags of cans, they've got old rims, they've got old bikes, and their truck is loaded up. And I used to see them riding through the neighborhood every day. I know they're going to the scrap yard. I see that every day. No, I'm not hiring, but you can partner with. And I didn't understand that those people knew what America is all about. In America, you can take shit and turn it into money. Those people were taking the scraps every day, and they were taking a load like that, and a load like that would get them anywhere from $500 to $1,000 every day. 2 or 3 guys, and they split it with their buddies. And that's how they was hustling. But in my ignorance, I said, man, them guys crazy, man. They get up every morning and go looking for scrap metal. But you know what I didn't know about those guys? You know what I didn't know about those guys? Is that those guys was up at 5 in the morning. They get all of their scraps loaded up and transported and taken to the scrap yard by 9. And they don't got to lift another finger for the rest of the day, the rest of the week if they didn't want to. They collect bottles the same way in NYC. See, we don't understand the true hustle, man. This is one of the few places in the world where you can literally turn crap, dung, waste, poop into money. There's only one thing better than going to get something for free and turning it into money. There's only one thing better than that. Can you guys guess what it is? You can, so these guys ride around and they just pick up the scraps for free and they turn it into money. You know what the one thing that is better than going to get something for free that you can turn into money? And this shifted my mindset, so took me to another place so rapidly. The one thing that's better than going to get something for free and turning it into money is having somebody to pay you to come pick it up. You guys know what the guy who started I Got Junk is worth today? The guy who started I Got Junk was one of those guys who did the scrap thing. The guy who started I Got Junk was one of those guys who did the scrap metal thing. And he would go around and get scrap metal for free, and he would turn it in and get money, turn it into money. Then he figured out how to get people to pay him to come get the same scrap that he's going to turn around and take and turn into money. So tell me again, what's your excuse for being broke? So the guys who advertise, got a washer and dryer, give me 20 bucks, I'll come pick it up. 30 bucks, I'll come get all of the metals in your basement or whatever. Yeah, I got 50 bucks, man. I just want to get this thing out of here. You give them 50 bucks to come get something that's valuable. They take it and your 50 bucks, then they turn it in and make even more money. See, in America, you can turn crap into money. It's three main reasons that you're probably broke, right? Because you're spending too much time wanting something for nothing. Most people want something for nothing, that's why they're broke. They don't want to put in no sweat equity, they don't want to invest no time, or they don't want to invest no money. That's why they're broke. Most people don't realize that everything is a hustle. They see a business that they want to start. They say, yes, I'm going into that business. They see the end result of that business. And people who are in entrepreneurship, we make business look easy sometimes. So people see the end result and say, I want to do that. And then they get in and see all of the chaos behind the scenes, all of the wires going all over the place to make this machine run, and they quit and they give up. They don't realize that everything's a hustle. See, we laugh at people who hustle, and then we go into business and we don't realize that business is a hustle. So we pull back the curtain and we get to see all the inner workings of a successful business, and we crap our pants. Like, what? Whoa, wait a minute. When I saw this dude getting this money, it looked like on the outside, all he had to do is post a video, and then people respond to the video, and then he sell them his product or get them in his program. I can do that. Because a good entrepreneur makes business look easy. And then you jump in business and you pull back the curtains and you see all of those wires and those, it's like looking under the hood of a car for the very first time. And you're like, what is all of this stuff? I thought all I had to do was just put some gas in this thing and make it work. No, man. No, man. Everything is a hustle. That's why a lot of people can't succeed. You don't realize everything is a hustle. So you get involved in something and see and realize that you got to hustle. You got to hustle up on some relationships. You got to hustle up on some partnerships. You got to hustle up on some intel. You got to hustle up on some knowledge. You got to hustle up on some game plan. You got to hustle up on a mentor. You got to hustle up on this. You got to hustle up on that. See, but lo and behold, at your job, all of that stuff is provided for you. And you don't realize that the hustle has taken place by the people who own the company. They did all the hustling. You walked into an infrastructure that's already in place. Had you seen what they had to go through to put the infrastructure in place, you probably wouldn't be at that job. Everything is a hustle. And number three, damn thinking outside the box, you got to realize there is no box. 8:05, I got you, Bethany. Yeah, we started a little bit late, so I just wanted to give it to you and finish up this point. You've got to think that, stop thinking outside the box and realize there is no box. Because the same people who put you in the box are the people who are now telling you to think outside the box. No, shatter the damn box altogether. There is no box. Because the same people who are telling you, who put you in the box, they're telling you, hey, you got to think outside the box. But guess what? When you think outside the box, you realize you're just in a bigger box. Oh, that was heavy. The same people who put you in the box are now telling you, like they're your friend, hey, you just got to think outside the box. But when you start thinking outside the box, you just realize you're in a bigger box. You've got to come to the realization that there is no box. There is no box. There is no box. The box is an illusion to keep you from who you're really destined to become. So we talked about worm castings, right? There's so many businesses that you can start. How about this? How about this? I'm trying to encourage my sons to start a lawn care and landscaping business. Because again, if you understand that the compost industry is $152 billion industry by 2020, and you do lawns for a living, and you collect the yard scraps from doing those lawns, and you pile that yard scrap up and allow that yard scrap to become compost, and then you turn around and sell that compost, you winning. But again, if all you see in your business is, man, I can't make no real money cutting grass, I'm just a lawnmower man. Now you're thinking inside the box. If Sylvester Chisholm, founder of Showroom Shine, was only thinking inside the box when he started his car wash, see, a lot of people say, man, you can't turn a car wash into a multi-million-dollar business. Sylvester Chisholm realized there is no box. He has corporate contracts with 5 of the major corporations in St. Louis. They drive and park their car in a certain spot. His team go get the car, go wash the car, detail the car, put the car back in the spot, and get their payment. If he was thinking that I can't make money with this little car wash thing, he wouldn't have contracts with several of the parking garages at the airport. You go park your car in the garage, you fly to wherever you're going, take care of your business, fly back, you get in a clean, detailed car smelling good. If he was thinking inside the box with his car wash and listening to his friends who say, man, you still washing cars? You can't make no money with it. You can't turn a car wash into a multi-million-dollar business. He would have never had a contract with the U.S. Postal Service keeping all of the postal trucks clean. There is no box, y'all. Now he's in the position where he can franchise Showroom Shine all over the country. There is no box. Man, I've learned how to stop listening to broke folks, man. I ain't listening to nobody who got no job tell me anything about business. If a job is the only way you make money, you can't tell me anything about business. Because you don't know enough. If your job is the only way you make money, you can't tell me anything about business, how to run my business, what to do to make money. And that's some of our whole life from a job. And when you want to go into business and they tell you that's not a good idea, and that's what's funny, because I'm coaching with people who are getting their advice from people who only make their money from a job. All of my income comes from business. All of my income comes from an idea that started here that I took from here, put it on paper, then I put it off paper and into the universe. That's where all of my income comes from. But you, when I advise you on how to become a better entrepreneur, and I give you some ideas, I give you some strategy, I give you a game plan, you take the strategies, the idea, and the game plan from the guy who makes 100% of his income from business. You take my game plan, run it past somebody who only makes their money from a job, and they give you a game plan that trumps my game plan for your business. Where they do that at, as the young folks would say. Where they do that at? You sit down and get business coaching from someone who makes their living in business. You take that coaching, run it by somebody who only makes their money on a job, and their advice trumps the advice of the person. Bless, where they do that at, bro? Do they do that on the East, bro? Where they do that at? So I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end, y'all. Understand that about our people, that we're sick. And I believe that I'm the right person for this calling because I have a naturally patient and easy temperament. And when you're trying to encourage our people to build wealth through entrepreneurship, you're trying to encourage our people to think that there is no box and to transform themselves, you have to be extremely patient. You have to be patient, man, and let people come into their own ignorance in their own time, and then they'll want to do something to transform. Yeah, comfort is a hell of a drug. There's a tremendous amount of safety and security in the comfort zone, but nothing ever grows there. There's safety and security in your comfort zone, but nothing ever grows there. The only way you grow is by stretching, and stretching is uncomfortable. That's why nobody does it. So with that, man, look at your life and say, man, there's some stuff in my life that I can turn into money. You guys heard my testimony. That's a lot of stuff in my life that I turned into an income. Right? So don't think about just the physical stuff that can be turned into money. I want you to think about all of that emotional stuff that you've been through, all that social stuff that you've been through. Just like in my garden, when I take the clippings from last year's garden and I pile it up and it starts to cook and it starts to break down and it becomes fertilizer, I want you to take the stuff that has gone on in your life and I want you to pile that stuff up. I want you to cook and I want you to let it compost down. Then I want you to turn and take that stuff and I want you to sprinkle it over your current business, your current relationships. Sprinkle that fertilizer of the stuff that you've been through in your past, turn it into compost, turn it into fertilizer that's going to feed your future success. Right? Take the haterade that everybody else is sipping on, and I want you to turn that into rocket fuel to propel you to your success. I'm your man, H. Cortez, the one and only financial health mentor to the Black community. Until I talk to you guys tomorrow, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, people.